March 6th, 1944, 23,000 feet above Brandenburg, Germany's frozen countryside. The winter sun hangs pale and distant behind veils of cirrus, while white contrails from 800 American bombers stitch wounds across the heavens. This morning, the mighty 8th bleeds into the stratosphere. The mathematics tell a tale of industrial butchery. During March's opening week alone, 63 Boeing B-17 flying fortresses vanished over German soil. Not metal and rivets, 630 human beings. Waist gunners, bombardiers, navigators who boarded aluminum coffins at sunrise and never touched Earth again. A heavy bomber crew's life expectancy has collapsed to 11 sorties. 11. The odds of surviving a 25-mission combat tour now hover at 4%. The USAAF consumes trained aircrew faster than training pipelines can replenish them. The deficit is not bravery. American flyers punch through flak storms, and Messerschmitt swarms with fatalism, touching reverence. The deficit is physical law. Every B-17 penetrating Reich airspace becomes lightning rod for Luftwaffe fighter Geschwader. German aviators have cracked the cipher. They've learned to recognize bombers carrying wounded power plants, shattered control systems, frozen defensive turrets. From 4,000 yards, they distinguish which flying fortresses stagger, targeting those machines first. This is Predator mathematics. The crippled machine drops from protective formation. Bereft of overlapping defensive fire from neighbors, it becomes floating quarry. Bf-109S swarm like wolves tearing hamstrings from injured elk. One fortress falls, then another, then 3 more. A cascading failure converting tight defensive box into abattoir. By target approach, Leipzig aircraft plants, Schweinfurt marshalling yards. 15% strength has vanished. Homeward bound, harried by fresh interceptor squadrons. Another 20% dies. The Reich comprehends. Total destruction is unnecessary. Eliminate the already wounded. And Americans, their damage visible for miles, torn engine cowlings, oil trails, feathered props, broadcast vulnerability like gut-shot animals bellowing in wilderness darkness. The 8th Air Force calculates, at this hemorrhage rate, strategic bombing collapses before summer. The campaign to cripple German industry to prepare Normandy's path expires in Central Europe's frozen altitudes. Commanders recognize their executioner precisely. They trace patterns through after-action reports, through gun camera footage salvaged from crashed German fighters. The Luftwaffe reads American damage like illuminated manuscript. The unanswerable question, how conceal a crippled bomber when it weeps oil, trails smoke, operates 2,000 feet below formation? How render wounded aircraft unseen? The solution, when it emerges, will not originate from Pentagon corridors. It will come from a staff sergeant who once brushed latex onto Newark row houses. Early 1944 finds America $40 million poorer pursuing bomber vulnerability solutions. 40 million wartime dollars, sufficient for 6 destroyers, or 2 months of atomic research. Aviation's brightest intellects wage furious debate producing paper mountains exclusively. Wright Field, Dayton, Ohio, serves as mausoleum for stillborn concept. Mechanics disciplines where natural law refuses negotiation. Black smoke cannot vanish against white cloud decks. Vibrating airframes cannot appear stable to aviators bearing 800 combat hours. Expert consensus, documented in classified memoranda, buried 30 years. Visual damage masking exceeds current technological and operational capabilities. Strategic bombing continues. Alternatives absent. Bombers launch. Crews perish. Deep winter, 1944. 8th Air Force incinerates 1,800 trained aircrew monthly, a depletion rate exhausting replacement infrastructure by June. Generals study calendars and casualty curves, watching convergence at coordinates marked mission failure. Yet $40 million and 10,000 engineering pages establish certainty. German fighter pilots cannot be deceived. Undamaged bomber appearance cannot be counterfeited when damage is mechanical, physical, visible. Physical law prohibits. Physical law, however, encounters imminent collision with a New Jersey staff sergeant lacking high school completion, unaware that impossible has been typed thrice and filed with War Department bureaucracy. Staff Sergeant Tony Duca, 26 years, 5'7", 0 collegiate credits. Pre-war occupation, house painting, Newark, $1.10 hourly. Secondary trade, handyman, polished terminology for one who repaired boilers via wrench and prayer, rewired fuse boxes employing electrical tape, persuaded 1936 Fords to consume kerosene when gasoline grew costly. Tony Duca represents, in neighborhood vernacular, someone who figures things out. March 1944. Assignment: 381st Bomb Group, RAF Ridgewell, England. Assistant Crew Chief. Responsibilities: patching projectile perforations, replacing destroyed hydraulic lines, maintaining B-17 flight status, utilizing whatever supply depots neglected shipping. Unheroic labor. Labor positioning him dawn flight line, observing returning bombers, tallying damage. Tony Duca perceives something. March 9th. Memphis Bell 2. Staggers to Ridgewell. Number 3 engine feathered. 6-foot laceration in port wing. Duca tarmac present witnesses. Crew chief, sprinting. Pilot waving dismissal. Fine, pilot shouts above dying turbo supercharger shriek. Shut down over channel. Flew final 200 miles. 3-engined. Duca approaches the silent power plant. Cowling intact. Absent smoke. Absent oil staining the cell. He contacts metal. Cold. Frigid. This engine has not operated for 2 hours. Shutdown reason? Duca inquires. Pilot shrugs. Oil pressure plunged 15 psi over target, losing it regardless. So I feathered before seizure. His observation: Luftwaffe never engaged this aircraft. Memphis Bell 2 returned without fighter attack after 200 miles dead engine flight. 72 hours hence, Hell's Angel returns, number 2 engine shut down. Identical narrative. Pilot feathered prop over Germany. Aircraft arrived untouched. Duca initiates inquiry. He extracts maintenance logs. He interrogates pilots. He uncovers pattern-inducing hand tremor. Bombers executing voluntary engine shutdown. Pre-smoke, pre-oil trail experience 70% reduced German fighter targeting probability. Luftwaffe avoids feathered propeller aircraft. They assault smoke, flame, visible mechanical trauma. Evening crew shack, pencil, requisition form reverse side. Rough B-17 schematic, single engine feather. Identical aircraft, single engine smoking. Beneath smoking power plant, target. Beneath feathered, survivor. Realization so fundamental it enrages. Germans seek not damaged aircraft. They seek dying aircraft. Feathered propeller equals mechanical damage, yet silent damage. Cold damage. Absent smoke, absent flame, absent visible hemorrhage. Messerschmitt pilots scanning 4,000-yard formations cannot observe arrested propellers. They observe smoke trails 6 miles distant. Tony Duca, Newark house painter, has solved what $40 million engineers could not. Concealing damaged bombers requires not repair. It requires making all bombers appear damaged, deliberately. When wounded cannot hide, Embed them within decoy herds. Duca comprehends base commander office entry, yields laughter, dismissal, potential court-martial, staff sergeant advising brass toward intentional engine shutdown, combat flight with reduced power. Madness. It is madness. Therefore, Duca executes what competent mechanics execute when superiors refuse attention. He constructs independently. March 18th, night. Duca, plus 2 enlisted. Corporal Eddie Kowalski, Private First Class Jim Ortiz. Maintenance hangar, infiltration. Selection, B-17 scheduled following morning test flight. Airframe repaired, post-Berlin flak damage. Duca's paper-engineered concept. Pilot commanded propeller feathering. Subsequent engine restart sans power plant destruction. Obstacle. Feathering constitutes emergency protocol, engineered to prevent catastrophic failure from airframe destruction. Post-feather in-flight restart approaches impossibility. Blades lock 90 degrees airflow relative. Windmill resurrection methods absent. Unless cheating occurs, Duca's resolution borrows Newark boiler repair logic. Controlled venting. Propeller governor modification. Hydraulic valve governing blade pitch via manual bypass line installation. Rubber tubing segment. Brass fuel transfer pump valve. Cockpit wired toggle switch. Pilots now feather props. Vent hydraulic pressure through bypass. Restore pressure for blade unfeathering. In-flight engine restart achievable. 4 hours required. $7 parts cost. Ground testing. 20 propeller feather / restart cycles. Flawless function. Following morning, Duca approaches test pilot Lieutenant Carl Hoffman. Sir, off-record request. Complexion pales. Sergeant, valve failure preventing restart places 40-ton bomber into English pasture. 3 engines functional. Comprehend your request's implications? Duca nods. Understood, sir. Yet if correct, channel overflight. Number 3 feathering. Royal Observer Corps misses entirely. Absent smoke, absent drama. Merely quiet engine. Then restart pre-landing. Court-martial occurs. You accompany. 0600 hours launch. 5,000 feet North Sea altitude. Hoffman feathers number 3. Propeller blades arrest. Bomber shutters. Maintains altitude. 20-minute flight. Hoffman activates bypass. Blades unlock. Engine coughs. Ignites. Roars resurrection. Post-landing, Hoffman delivers 5 words. Route this to Colonel. March 22nd, 1944. Quonset Hut, 8th Air Force Headquarters, High Wycombe, 40 miles London west. Present, Colonel Raymond Stark, 381st Bomb Group Commanding Officer. Major Eugene Hastings, Chief Engineer. Captain Philip Dresner. Tactical Operations, Staff Sergeant Anthony Duca, preparing to inform field-grade officers their warfare execution has been erroneous. Colonel Stark opens. Sergeant, Lieutenant Hoffman reports engine shutdown recreation device invention. Listening. 5 minutes. Maintenance checklist reverse diagram. Sir, Luftwaffe kills through wounded aircraft visibility. Smoke, flame, oil. They strike these initially. Yet what if formation aircraft universally appeared wounded? Intentional engine shutdown, prop feathering, German incapacity distinguishing genuine casualties from simulation, combat flight with intentionally reduced power proposed? Affirmative, sir. Rotational basis. 5 aircraft per 36 plane formation. Single engine each. Absent smoke, absent flame. Merely cold. Feathered props. Germans observe 6 or 7 dead engine aircraft. Cannot differentiate simulation from reality. Captain Dresner leans. Sergeant 3-engine B-17 surrenders 40 knots, 2,000 feet operational ceiling. Self-crippling aircraft requested. Temporary 5 aircraft crippling. To preserve 15, after-action report data, visible damage triples attack likelihood. Fake damage distribution across formations forces German speculation. Speculation duration permits genuine wounded aircraft reaching England. Colonel Stark facial massage. Most insane proposal this week, and considerable insanity encountered. Hastings consultation. Engineering risk. Valve failure prevents restart. 3 engine glide home. Dual engine failure. 1 genuine, 1 simulated. Channel submersion. Duca speaks. Sir, channel submersion currently operational. 63 bombers previous week. Luftwaffe reads us newspaper clear. This renders newspaper encrypted. Extended silence. Then Colonel Stark. Sergeant, combat trial authorized. Single mission, 6 aircraft. Success. Division presentation. Failure, latrine excavation. Until armistice. Comprehension? Affirmative, sir. Satisfactory. Error produces self-destruction method, sans German contribution. Sir, error permits court-martial. Error absent. This occurring. March 24th, 1944. Target. Dornier Flugzeugwerke, Friedrichshafen, Lake Constance, Northern Shore. 600-mile penetration southern Germany through Europe's most heavily defended aerospace. 381st Bomb Group launches 36 B-17s, 6 equipped Duca hydraulic bypass. Plan, 30 minutes, pre-initial point bomb run, commencement. 6 aircraft feather single engines. Dead power plants distribute. 2 lead squadron, 2 high, 2 low. Distant observation, entire formation apparent, disintegration. 11:47 hours, Swiss border, first propeller arrest. Second, 4 additional, formation tightening, feathered engine bombers, slight drop back, sufficient wounded appearance, insufficient defensive cohesion rupture. 12:23 hours, Luftwaffe arrival. 38 Messerschmitt Bf-100 and 9S. Jagdgeschwader 27, Reich's most seasoned fighter wing. 4,000-yard orbit. Target scanning. Messerschmitt dive. Core problem. Target selection incapacity. Normal protocol. Trailing smoke. Maximum altitude loss targeting. Today, 6 crippled bombers maintain formation. Absent dropback. Absent smoke. German attack distribution. 3 separate aircraft. 1 decoy. Messerschmitt commitment moment. B-17 ball turret gunner fire initiation. German pilot easy kill expectation penetrates .50 caliber curtain. Fighter disintegration, 800 yards. Luftwaffe withdrawal. Regrouping. Repeated attack. Identical outcome. Genuine casualty. Isolation impossible. Decoy casualties. Defend as healthy aircraft. German pilot 12-minute target identification expenditure. 12 minutes permitting formation factory approach. Bomb release. Return leg. 381st loses. 2 bombers. Flak. 0 fighters. Luftwaffe single half-hearted pass, then withdrawal. Allied airspace crossing. 6 feathered engine pilots restart power plants. Cough. Ignition. Full power restoration. Clerk typed after-action report. Numerical disbelief. Enemy fighters engaged. 38. American bomber fighter attack losses. 0. German fighters destroyed. 4 confirmed. 2 probable. Jagdgeschwader. 27 airfield. Munich vicinity. Debriefing chaos. Pilot report. 7 cripples. 0 cripple behavior. Trap. Alternative. Americans invented engine failure simulation. Wing commander dismissal. Report filing regardless. 8-month Luftwaffe intelligence archive burial. Unread. War eastward movement rendering question obsolete. Staff Sergeant Anthony Duca invention receives no official designation. Army Air Forces documentation. Tactical engine feathering. Crew terminology. Playing dead. June 1944. 400 plus B-17s and B-24s carry hydraulic bypass systems. European theater. Bomber fighter attack. Losses plummet 38% across 4 months. Luftwaffe files 18 intelligence reports attempting comprehension of American formation selective invulnerability. Resolution absent. Duca, May promotion technical sergeant. Right field civilian consultant transfer offer. Declination August. Stateside rotation. Commendation ceremony refusal. Problem resolution, sir. Standard mechanic function. Post-war, Newark return. Broad Street garage establishment. Chrysler/Packard engine specialization. Hydraulic bypass silence maintained. Patent application absent. 1947. Local reporter. Newark hero story attempt. Duca interview refusal. 1983 death. Age 65. Heart attack. 1979 Dodge tire rotation. New York Star Ledger obituary. 4 sentences. Yet, hydraulic propeller governor plus manual bypass. Standard equipment. Every United States Air Force. C. 130. Hercules. Modern version. Computerized, fly-by-wire integrated. $47,000 unit cost. Core logic. In-flight propeller feather / restart for tactical application. Pure Tony Duca. Innovation descends not from summits. It ascends from ground level, from damaged proximate observers courageous enough disregarding expert consensus. Victory belonged not to generals. Victory belonged to mechanics refusing any belief in impossibility.